Hi everyone, this is lovely Ruth, returning with another video tonight. Today is June 23rd. It's my mom's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. Blessings to you. It's so funny how we don't think about the things that happen around us. Um, and we take for granted the little things that we see and hear and feel. And I just feel my mom's presence lately, and I've been feeling, my loved ones. And it's so weird that I should say that. A really quick message. It's so funny that I should say that. We yesterday's video we went to my daughter and I went to the cemetery to visit our loved ones, and I it's crazy. It's gonna sound crazy, but it's not. I found a dime, and it was all kinds of things running through my head, like, no, I'm not gonna pick that dime up, and I'm not gonna. It's a cemetery. I don't want to take spirits home with me. And it was a shiny dime. It was like that dime was calling out to me. It was like there. If I would have walked past that dime, it would have been like, "Are you crazy? That's money." And it has to be a reason I found that dime. So I took the dime. I took the dime. And today I found another dime. And it was so weird because I'm not looking for anything. I usually don't look around. I always watch where I'm stepping, of course, but I don't look around to find anything, if you understand what I'm saying. So by me finding that dime, I took it in and I said, wow, that's 2 days in a row. This has to mean something. And so I was thinking, I Googled it and I was trying to figure out, why am I finding these dimes? And there's all types of reasons why you can, run across or find a dime or dimes. It's like I'm finding them like crazy. So um, the message was, when I Googled it, it was like it could be that a relative, a loved one is letting you know that they're with you, and they that you're not by yourself, that they're here, and there's some type of acknowledgement. Okay, here it is. It says interpretations. A message from beyond. It could be someone or something is trying to get your attention. This is so cool. Guidance or validation that you're on the right path. A reminder that you are loved and valued. I like that one. A sign that positive changes are afoot. A reward or a token of approval from beyond. Ancestors, spirits, guides, or deceased loved ones want you to know they're looking out for you. So cool. So cool. And it says here the number 10 symbolizes a circle. So a dime might indicate coming to a full circle, fulfillment, unity, or completion of a task. And the last one, it says a reminder to pay attention to, watching, and keeping your eyes open. So to me, I'm on this level of thinking that, I like to control my thoughts. Like I said, I like to, control, my mind, because your mind is brings your reality into being. So I said that I was thinking, I said, you know what? I always feel the presence of my mom, and usually around, people's birthday, your loved one's birthday, they're with you in spirit, or you just channeling them some type of way. And I felt so good with that. I really feel like that's some type of connection with one of my brothers, or my mom, my dad even. And so I love that feeling that they're saying, hey, you're okay, you're gonna be okay, you're gonna do well. And I like that. And then the other thing about validation, and it's a lot going on with me right now, about the job. I quit my job, and then I'm on this new path to finding my way to entrepreneurship and to, get into that. I mean, like super um, fast, or not super fast, but to make sure I'm taking unnecessary steps to be an entrepreneur, because that is my dream. It always has been my dream. And I remember, I'm changing the subject because I always do that. I love my mom, I love my dad, I love my family. So rest in peace, mom. Happy birthday, first and foremost. Um, I used to always sit at work and say to myself, I even shared this with one of my best friends. Uh, I said, I don't feel like I should be here. This was like 10 years ago or something. I said, I want to make my own money. I want my own money. I don't want to work for somebody all my life. I have so many different ideas and things that I could do in my talent. And I start printing out things and writing down things on how to, get my license and start this and start that, and this is what you do first. And I lost sight of that, and I was, I threw myself into working, and I talked about last night how I was, feeling like I was spinning my wheels, and I finally said, hey, you know what? I'm more important than to making a paycheck, living from paycheck to paycheck. So my goal is to start my own business. My goal is to take a closer look at my finances, because I think that is where um, I spiraled downwards, because I wasn't really paying any attention to my finances. It was like, you had to pay bills, and you had to pay other things, luxuries that we want in our lives. And it got pretty tough. I mean, my finances was something that I would like to sweep under the rug and keep there. It's like, if I faced it, I felt like if I faced my what was going on with my finances, it would depress me, or it would get me to a point to where I felt hopeless, and I felt like I was never going to get out of that. And God was dealing with me with my finances big time. Big time. I mean, like, you know, it's not ours. The money is not ours. It belongs to God. And so me not being obedient, I was like taking the money in and using it on the things that I just mentioned, and I lost sight of the fact that I need to give God his money. I'm talking in terms of tithing. And a lot of people don't tithe, and I always had a struggle with tithing, because I was one of those people that, like, God, I don't have enough. Can you know give me and let me make enough money so that I can tithe? And I would, ask him that. And each time, it was like, every time I even got overtime, or, something extra, it didn't go to God. It was like I was trying to keep my head above water. And the longer I did this, the worse it got. It was like, again, I was robbing Peter to pay Paul, and it was like borrowing loans, and making my finances worse than they really should have been. And now, you know, uh, the leap of faith that I was inspired to take, um, has me facing the very thing that I was running from. And so now it's like, I have to look at my bills. I have to look at my finances coming in and going out. I have to, budget, or not per se budget, because I was budgeting all the. I mean, when you don't have enough money, you don't have no choice but to budget. But in this, in other words, I didn't want to face the truth of my money was here, and my income was here, and my expenses were here. I was like, it was not balanced. It was not level. It was always I was making less money per month than I was spending per month. And so I know money is not a big thing to God, but we make it out of a whole entire mountain because we're not examining how we're spending or helping others. I think that by us doing the right thing with money, then money is um multiplied to us, or it's going to rotate into our life instead of outside of our lives. So I think that I learned a very valuable lesson. I'm learning to accept the fact that I was not putting God in my money and I was putting him everywhere else. And I'm thinking, what's going on? What's wrong with me? I'm not making enough money. I'm not doing, and all this time I'm self-sabotaging myself because I'm not, you know, doing what I'm supposed to do with my money or with the money that I was earning. And so that leap of faith came, and it was like I was telling myself, something has to give, something has to change, something has to change. And this has become an eye opener for me. This has become um, a big deal. And when I say self sabotage, it's like anything that I would set out to do or set out to have or buy or whatever, you know, it doesn't last. It goes away from me some kind of way somehow. And the more things I purchased, the more the interest rate was on it. I mean, I was looking at my expenses today with a friend, and we were going over my budget or my expenses, and the interest rates that I'm paying right now on the things that I bought, it's like in credit card, it's ridiculous. And I know that has a lot to do with your credit. My credit is, ugh, the worst that it could ever get. I mean, and it hurts you to have bad credit. So my mind was to get my finances straight, get my credit in line, get it to a good point, buy me a house. Because my end goal was to purchase a home, and then my in order to do that, in order to take the steps toward that, I would have to fix my credit. I mean, it's nowhere around that. If I want that house, and if I'm praying for a house, I need to do things to show that I am going toward that goal. And I know God's a good God. God will bless me. God could bang bless me with a house right here, right now. However, I need to show God that I am a responsible person when it comes down to my money, and I never have. I was very disobedient, and with that end of my life, and now I can for sure say that it's a big difference. Even though I'm not working, I'm not generating any money in. My money is depleting. I'm using it wisely now. Every cent of it counts. Even the dimes that I found, every cent of it, every cent that I have saved up counts. It goes towards something. So God is supplying my needs right now. God is showing me avenues in which to take. I'm wiser now. It's like I don't have the anxiety that I used to have. It's like when I was making the money, it's always like I need to make a little bit more money. I need to get a little overtime to pay this bill and this bill and this bill. Okay, I don't have the bill money this week, so I'm gonna push it to next week. And things were like all over the place, all over the place. Now it seemed like my finances are a little bit more milder now, like a little bit more controlled, because I'm letting God um guide me in the direction he wants me to go as far as my finances are concerned. And it wasn't always, it was like I wasn't listening to God, and it was so many times that I had opportunities to correct myself, and I didn't. It was like I was just drowning in debt. It was like I was never going to get out of that hole. And now I see the light at the end of the tunnel. Even though I don't have the money, I always know that God is my source. So if He's my source, He will supply the resources that I need to live. So I think I had to learn a valuable lesson concerning my finances. I would like to make a plan or make a spreadsheet to monitor what goes in and what goes out from this point on. I mean, because when I am looking at my money now, it takes on a different meaning. It takes on a whole different meaning. I see it in a whole different meaning when you know, this is it. I don't have a revolving paycheck, so the money that I do have, it has to go towards something important. It has to go toward the bills per se, or the rent, or and things like that. It can't go on trivial things like in my past, where I used to go randomly and buy things that I probably didn't even really need. So talk about maturing at my age with the money that I have. God has brought me a long way. This journey that I'm on now, uh, healing and finding myself, and looking at my life, because at first I was looking out and I was trying to have the things that I thought I needed in life or that I wanted. I'm not the your average person that, thrown on something and look all like, oh, defeated and, worn out. I always try to look my best, and I had the clothes and I had the things that made me look like I had it going on. And if you took a closer look, I didn't have it going on. I had the means of showing people that I had it going on. Um, the clothes, the purses, the hair and the makeup and all of this stuff. Per se, it was stuff that I was getting for myself, but I wasn't thinking about my future or my legacy, because what am I, what do I have to look back on? We get materialistic stuff, right? We buy this, we buy the car, we buy the shoes and all this other stuff, but what am I leaving for my grandkids, or my grandson, or my daughter, my son? What can they say? My mom left me this, or my mom did the right thing by us, or did the right thing in her life. So all of this is going to fall on me, and the blessings are going to fall on me, not the debt but the blessings. And so it's never too late to turn around. It's never too late to stop and examine, what are you doing with your life? What are you accomplishing as far as your future is concerned? What do you have that God is pleased with? Because, even though He's allowing you to work and allowing you to make money, He would want us to have enough to bless others with. I truly believe that your money is really not your money. It's to bless others. I think I read somewhere a little meme that said, I want my pockets to be so full of money that I am able to bless others. Something to that effect. And I can't get that out of my mind, because, there are people that are, unfortunately, they are um, you know, not um, at where they need to be, and they need help, and they need guidance, and they need some type of encouragement. And here I am. We get to the point in our lives that we don't see it because we're on this side looking at our lives. We're not turning that camera around, really looking at our lives or looking at us. But when we do that, we're able to see who we are or who we've become instead of what God intended for us to be. And, God give us that free will to choose. He's not going to choose anything for you. He gives you that will to choose. And if we want to think we're doing it on our own, I believe He will let us do as much as we can till we hit rock bottom. And when we hit that rock bottom, guess what? There's nowhere else to go. So you're going to have to pay attention to the things that God's been trying to um, tell you all along. So that's me. That's my case. And like I said, God's my source, and He's my source. He's gonna open those little resources up for me to handle my finances and be aware of my, be more disciplined with my finances, I should say. And it's never too late. I mean, it's never too late. So you can do it. You can make a turnaround, and you can still have the things that you wanted to have, the things we dream about when we're younger. The house and the car and the puppy and the husband and the nice clothes and the we could still have all those things. My dreams. What I used to dream about, my goal and my inspiration, what I dreamed about when I was younger. Of I wanted to um, open recreation center for boys and girls, for teenagers, and to teach them, have them go there for recreational purposes, dance classes, rap classes, or fundamental things like helping with homework and or bringing out their talent. And I know it's a lot of organizations that do that, but mine was so vivid. It was so real, and um it was in this location where it wasn't even just me that was volunteering my services for these teens. It was the help of the fire department or the help of a church that would donate their services. And I had this vivid dream of that particular thing, and I am still yet to do that. I want to do that. I mean, a nonprofit, of course, but that's something that I really would like to do, and so that is on my goals. That's on my plans to do outside of, starting my own business. Um, but sometimes we tend to forget about our dreams because we think they're impossible to have, or we forget that we can have the things that we dream about or we want to accomplish. We we doubt ourselves. We look at our money, we look at our circumstances, our situations, and we immediately start telling ourselves, and I know it's a mindset, but we immediately started telling ourselves that we can't have those things simply because there's not enough money to do so, and we don't make enough to um, get a building, or we don't make enough, or we don't have enough, enough money for our dreams. And I think that when we live with that type of mindset, like we can't accomplish these things, then that's what happens. We can't accomplish those things. So I started to take classes on and study um, changing my mindset, because it's a lot of things that I grew up thinking that I couldn't have or I couldn't do. And I think that's what got me in that cycle of accepting a crummy job to get me by for so many years. And I should have already had the things that God had for me. Again, God lets you run your own race. However, even when you run into those dead ends, he picks you up, dusts you back off, puts you back on that path in which you supposed to have been on in the first place. So in my case, I always look at that as um a, a cycle for me, that he keeps putting me back on the right track. And that's thus being, I'm the age that I am, and I'm feels like I'm starting over, starting from the beginning. That's exactly how I feel. So I think the message here is God is telling me to say to you, stop self-sabotaging yourself, because there is a plan for our life. There is a goal. There is an outcome we're supposed to have, that we doubt. We put negative thoughts in our minds and doubt ourselves, like, and that'll never happen to me, or no, not until I meet this man, or no, not until I, grow my money, or I mean, sometimes you just gotta pray and say, God, you know what? This is what I dreamt. This is my vision. This is what I dreamt about in my sleep. You showed me this vision. So now I have to just get there. You know what I'm saying? I have to, put it in motion, that I have to, accomplish my dreams, because only I can do that. Only I can make myself get to that place, that destiny. So yeah, yeah. I've done that, my whole life. Self-sabotage myself. I'll do silly stuff. And then I look at it like, sometimes we do these things, we do things in our lives because we are maybe perhaps afraid of getting the things that we're asking God for. When God says in his promises we can have these things, right? It's almost a fear. And I said last night, we're not supposed to live in fear, but what if we get those things? What if that happened for us? What if that dream job come along? It's scary, because I have to, if I'm getting it, what if I get it? But looking at it like, oh, I'm not gonna have it. Maybe we're afraid of having it. Maybe that's a big responsibility for us, and so we self-sabotage it. So we shy away from it, or we postpone it, and we tend to do the things that's not going toward it, but going away from the dream or the vision that we have. So don't do that. God don't want us to oh, I hear a ringing. God does not want us to go astray from him. He don't want us to think that anything is impossible, because we know all things are possible through God. So yeah, yeah. I don't have 5 reasons why we do that. I don't have 5 reasons or 5 ways to get there. I don't have these steps in order to get to your destiny. All I do know is that if you stand strong and you keep that vision in your view, not the rear view, the view, your mind's view, it'll come. It'll get here. Yeah, because I know, and I believe that my dreams are about to come. I think that what I've been praying for is about to show up. So that's my message. That's what I want to say. I'm not gonna go any longer. I just wanted to say that, and that I love you, and that God loves you. Always remember that. If nobody loves you, God loves you. And so, you guys, take care. I'll be back probably tomorrow, and I hope you had a good day, and I hope you have a better evening. And I will check you guys in the later one. Bye.